Hello, welcome to this short video about breakthrough innovation brought to you by Forum for the Future. My name is David Bent and I'm Deputy Director for Sustainable Business here at Forum. This presentation is based on research that we did for the Sustainable Business Models Group. The SBM Group, as it's called, is a bunch of our leading partners listed here they've come together to explore how to create step change internally and externally towards sustainable business models, by which we mean businesses that are commercially successful by delivering social value within environmental limits. And they told us that this problem of how could they, as big business, innovate products and services for wider change, this was something that they were really struggling with and they wanted some help. So let's start with a story which illustrates what we mean by breakthrough innovation. And in the centre there we have a packet of Café Direct. So Café Direct is a fair trade brand set up in 1991. Now it constitutes the fifth largest coffee brand in the UK. In 1991, when it was set up by some development NGOs and others, it basically just started with 2 containers worth of coffee. So the first aspect of breakthrough innovation is creating superior sustainability outcomes. In the case of Café Direct, it is providing a better deal for producers. Millions upon millions of pounds have gone to producers because they're getting a fair price. And the second sort of outcome is with consumers. They see and associate fair trade with quality, and that's opened up the market for other sorts of fair trade products and services. But just as importantly, breakthrough innovation is about shifting the market. Café Direct is an example of pioneering practice. Because of the scale it's got to, it has forced all of the other coffee brands to respond. Here you can see some examples of the mainstream coffee brands with different sorts of labels, be they Rainforest Alliance, own initiatives, or themselves going fair trade. And this is what we mean by shifting the market. Even if Café Direct was to disappear tomorrow, which I hope they don't, but even if they did, all of these other coffee and tea brands would have made significant changes to how they get hold of their coffee and tea, and therefore they're sort of locked into a superior sustainability outcome. So, what does this tell us about what we mean by breakthrough innovation? So firstly, we are talking about a new product or service that goes to market. Secondly, we're talking about shifting an existing market or creating a new one. And thirdly, we're talking about creating superior sustainability outcomes. These are the things which, when they're brought together, we think of as breakthrough innovation. So the first question any big business is bound to ask is why? Why try? What is the business case for trying out breakthrough innovation? And what our leading partners tell us is it's really composed of 4 parts. The first is, if you're a big business, your current business model is based on the world as it has been for the last 10, 20 years, and the foundations there are being eroded by issues that we call and put under the sustainability banner. The second thing is that we know that incremental innovation will not be enough to overcome the erosion of those foundations. It will not be enough to make your current products and services slightly better to address issues like climate change and poverty and so forth. The third thing is that breakthrough innovation, when it comes off, it can have a disproportionately large return. And then finally, if we look further into the future, 10, 15 years, those markets which are not creating superior sustainability outcomes will be whittled away. So they will be regulated, they will be shunned by customers, they'll be shunned by investors, suppliers will struggle to supply for them. As the pressure to create a sustainable future increases, markets which aren't delivering will disappear. So from a company's point of view, where you put your resources now, you could put them into innovations which are successful for a time, but successful in a market which will not be in place. Is that a good idea for long-term value creation for your shareholders? So we looked at what other companies have done. Where was there a track record of successful breakthrough innovations or just disruptive innovations without a sustainability component? And the central insight about how big companies can make this happen is that they need to organize at least part of themselves to act like entrepreneurs. There's something about being a big business that is used to executing its current business slightly better every year, which dampens down and kills off the disruptive ideas as they are trying to progress within the organization. And you have 3 ways, we found, that you can help and nurture and protect breakthrough innovations as they're making their journey within your organization. So the first is to have a balanced portfolio. Yes, you'll be doing incremental innovation, but you need to put aside some resources for those breakthrough innovations that are driving sustainability, the pink box in the top right. We would say that the things in the blue box in the bottom right, they may get you returns for a while, but they are not for the long term. So you need to push those up into the pink box. What can you do to make your disruptive innovations drive a sustainable future? And also, what can you do to make your incremental innovation more incremental innovation with sustainable outcomes, a slightly more efficient product? And examples here, a lot of the work in eco-imagination from GE is about improving their existing products, so that would be incremental innovation for sustainability in the yellow bubble there. Whereas with breakthrough innovations for sustainability, we can think of things like Cafe Direct, electric cars to some extent are shifting existing markets. When it comes to creating new markets, we can think of Zipcar, the commercial car club, where that's creating a whole new way of providing urban mobility. The second thing you can do is you can embed breakthrough innovation in your culture. And in Forum, we break down culture into 4 parts: your purpose, your networks internally and externally, the procedures that hardwire things into place, and the people you have, their capabilities, and how you incentivize them. And in the report that we pulled together, there are 5 or 6 things you can do against each of these. I think probably the most important is in purpose. So you need to have, within purpose, the companies that regenerate themselves, that manage to succeed for the very long term, have an enduring purpose that they can adapt as technology changes. And the classic example of that is IBM. It's 100 years old, and unlike other technologies which die with the technology they invented, IBM has constantly reinvented itself because its enduring purpose is about providing business insight through machines. When it comes to breakthrough innovation for sustainability, there are companies who are articulating their long-term purpose in terms of delivering social value within environmental limits for commercial gain. The classic example here would be Unilever. Their sustainable living plan does that very acutely. Another thing you can do which can really lock your purpose in and stimulate breakthrough innovations is by setting very ambitious targets. On the right there we have the Mission Zero logo from Interface Floor. Because they've set themselves the target of 0, slight improvements aren't good enough, and therefore that has generated more breakthrough attempts. And the third and final recommendation about how you can generate breakthrough innovation is to set up management structures that spot and support those disruptive ideas and make sure they don't get squashed by the status quo and by the day-to-day. Here we have 10 different management structures that we came across, organised from left to right. The most internally facing on the left, having internal competitions, having the innovation fund, and the most externally facing on the right. So corporate venturing being that you invest in, take an equity stake in some disruptive entrepreneurs. Conscious collaboration being you work with your customers or maybe with your supply chain very deliberately, perhaps in a joint venture. Mergers and acquisitions being buying up the companies that you think can provide you with a future revenue stream. So in the report itself, we have for each of these 10 examples, do's and don'ts, and why you might choose that particular structure. Just to recap then, a breakthrough innovation is one that generates a new product or service that shifts or creates markets and creates superior sustainability outcomes. Big companies, if they're going to create breakthrough innovations, really need to organise at least part of themselves to act like entrepreneurs. And the 3 things you can do to make that happen are have a balanced portfolio of activities, so at least some of which is aimed at breakthrough innovation. Embed breakthrough innovation in your culture, and there are lots of ways of doing that. And then thirdly, set up management structures that spot and support those breakthrough innovations so they don't die a death by 1,000 cuts. Thank you very much for your attention. If you are interested in knowing more, please download the report. The address is there. You can also go to the forum website and search for breakthrough innovation. And do feel free even to contact myself or Zoe Legrand, who also worked on this. Those are our email addresses, and you can follow me on Twitter. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope very much that you can use the insights we've had, improve them, and do tell us about any improvements you can think of.